Welcome to the Week 17 FanDuel running back analysis. I'm Jason Gilbo, JGilbo11. With me is Justin Elick at Big Italy 42. Week 17's here, so always it's kind of crazy. We're getting guys that we probably wouldn't normally play, but this week, there's a superb value that opens up. One that we're actually, we know because we've been down this road before.
Yeah, it seems almost too obvious this week. D'Angelo Williams, obviously Bell, Brown, Roethlisberger. I'm not even sure who else, but pretty much anyone who is relevant to the Steelers moving forward in the playoffs is not going to play this week. D'Angelo Williams, it's almost a perfect scenario where he's just bare minimum, hasn't played in almost 2 months now. He had knee surgery back in November, and had he been playing throughout this time, I'm sure he would have stolen a touchdown or two and gotten a game or two where he had a decent amount of carries. But since he hasn't seen the field, he's bare minimum. People are out here talking about Fitzgerald, Toussaint stealing from him. But like you said, we've been down this road. D'Angelo Williams has been a good running back, above average running back for years in this league. Was incredible the first couple games this season without Bell. And Toussaint he's not good. If you want to go contrarian in a tournament, you go ahead, but don't get too cute with this one in your cash game. Just play D'Angelo Williams. Even if he doesn't do anything, it's not going to hurt you. He's going to be 80% owned.
Yeah, 4,500. I was joking around. He's the same price as Roberto Aguayo on FanDuel. So
Aguayo might get negative points. So D'Angelo Williams get hurt in the first play and still outscore him.
So I think for cash games, you basically just, even in GPPs, I just don't even seem to care about ownership with this guy because he just frees up so much salary for other guys.
Yeah, and this is a week where we get a lot of guys resting, a lot of teams with zero to play for, Steelers being one of them, of course. So, there's not a lot of guys that can stand out as values in spots that really matter. And I'm definitely trying to focus, for the most part, on teams with playoff implications.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking at the other guy here. This is a guy that we've just been plugging in all year long. A team that doesn't have anything to play for, but I'm not particularly worried about. I like this Cardinals offense in this matchup, basically against a Rams team that's given up on the season.
Yeah, and David Johnson's out here setting records. I saw a stat that in most leagues, I don't know exactly what the scoring was. I think it was PPR leagues. He's outscored every single quarterback. And it's just unbelievable what the guy does. And last week we saw he was playing against the Seahawks. They're the number 2 rush defense, according to Football Outsiders. 28 carries for 95 yards doesn't seem too great. And then you factor in the 3 touchdowns and 4 catches for 41 yards. And he once again was among the highest scorers of the week. And, you look back at his game logs, he's got multiple touchdowns in 6 of his last 8 games. Really his worst game in the past, 2 months? His worst game of the season, he had 12 fantasy points. 31, 24, 14, 34. It's so incredibly obvious to play him in your cash games. If you see head-to-head lineups that aren't David Johnson and D'Angelo Williams this week, I'm really not sure what those people are thinking.
Yeah, I don't know either. I just think they come easy as a cash game duo. And, with the pricing, the combination of those two, it's just kind of easy to deploy.
Exactly.
So some GPP swerves, Devontae Freeman taking on the Saints. And if you remember the last meeting, both him and Coleman were, monsters. I believe 4 touchdowns was what they combined in that Monday night game.
Yeah, and Coleman took 3 of them, but the yardage kind of went to Freeman there. And, he's going to get the more touches. The Saints, their offense has been doing well. Obviously, we've talked about how their defense really isn't actually terrible against the run. They've been decent. But, this is a potent offensive attack. Obviously, Julio Jones still banged up. He's probably going to play, but you don't expect he's going to be 100%. And Atlanta is they're scoring just a ton of points. Leading the league, 33 points a game for the season, almost 39 a game for the last 3 weeks. They're going to score a lot of points. They're going to get ahead. They're going to be running the ball. And, I'm fine with either of these guys. I think that Freeman obviously will be higher owned. He's also quite a bit more expensive. So if you want to get a little contrarian with it, playing Tevin Coleman for $1,600 less, I think that's a riskier move for sure. But we've also seen Freeman with a lower floor at times as well. So, take your pick with these guys. In the passing game, it's more of a crapshoot. Matt Ryan's going to get it done, but you don't necessarily know where the production is coming from. But, maybe a lineup or two, throw in both these guys. You don't have to worry about who steals the touchdowns.
Yeah, I like this game a lot. I think this is one of the few games I'll be really, jumping into in terms of lineup building this week. I like both of them. Next one here is Ezekiel Elliott, 8,800. And you're looking to probably just get maybe a share or two of this one. not a ton of exposure just because of the possible situation that, you know, he may rest, may take some time off.
I mean, this scenario is just kind of crazy to me that, you know, especially after seeing Mariota and Derek Carr both go down to injuries last week. Obviously, Mariota, it was a long shot for them to even make the playoffs anyway. But Derek Carr, I mean, that was a Super Bowl potential that they lost out on. You know, Matt McGloin's not going to get it done. But even the fact that Jerry Jones is going to let Ezekiel Elliott play in this game, and he said he's going to play a lot, that's great from a DFS standpoint. Obviously, you know, Eric Dickerson wants to be cocky and arrogant and say that no one can break his record. And I would love to see Zeke break his record. And if he's going to play, and he's going to play a lot, I mean, I doubt that you're going to see Des Bryant. I doubt you're going to see many throws down the field. They're going to just feed him and try to get him that record when he's on the field. And I think that's just incredibly stupid from you know, like a football perspective. Like, what the hell are you doing having your best player? Zeke Elliott gets hurt in this game, the Cowboys are done. Like, it's not even a question. Like, that they're finished. They're not going to win a Super Bowl with Darren McFadden. So I'm playing him because they're dumb enough to play him. I'll throw him in a lineup or two, but I mean, it's really, really stupid of Jerry Jones to let him play this week, and he deserves for him to get hurt. But I'm still going to throw him in one because if he plays, he certainly has that big time upside. Like a couple of years ago when Adrian Peterson almost broke the rushing record, or was going for the rushing record and needed like 180 yards. It's similar to that situation, except they were out of the playoffs, I believe, and Cowboys are locked in number one. So maybe he'll get the record, get hurt. Jerry Jones will learn his lesson.
I'm still not completely convinced. I know. I mean, Jerry Jones is obviously half the stuff that comes out of his mouth is I don't really pay much attention to. So
no,
I'm still somewhat hesitant in deploying. I think he's a great.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to be off of him this week because one, I think people have a similar mentality that I do, where he could just see 12 carries and then hit the bench for the second half.
Yeah, but then again, like, why is he playing at all? Like, you know what I mean? If he's going to play, you might as well let him get a full workload because you're already risking injury with him.
Yeah, I mean, what's the difference between 12 carries and 35?
I mean, you know what I'm saying? There is a difference, but I just don't understand why, especially with these big injuries recently, that you even let him touch the field for a second. So, yeah, like you said, he could still rest. It's the riskiest play of all time, but I mean, it's a good matchup for him. If he does play, he certainly has big time upside. I mean, he's going to be crazy low, like lower than he's been all season, and rightfully so. So if you're making one lineup, of course you're not playing. If you're making 10, you probably aren't playing him. But if you're making a lot of lineups, I think you'd be smart to get one share unless we hear that he's going to sit.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's a guy, if you're building multiple lineups, to get some exposure to. Value backs this week, and Jaquiz Rogers, 5,200. Obviously, Doug Martin is a guy who was suspended. Charles Sims to the IR. And you call Doug Martin Melky Cabrera.
You like that one?
That.
Yeah, that was my favorite moment of writing those articles this week was that. But I mean, Jaquiz Rogers. I mean, think about it. It's kind of a similar situation because Melky Cabrera is not good. He was not very good ever. He had that one good season, and Jaquiz Rogers hasn't even had that one good season. He had like a couple good games, I guess. He was good in college, but you know. Obviously, Adderall, kind of a different situation. He wasn't really cheating. It was just stupid on his part to do that. But either way, we saw what happened when he started against the Panthers last time. I mean, he wasn't particularly efficient, but what do you have, 11 carries on that first drive? Something ridiculous like that?
Yeah. Had
35 touches. I'm not saying he's going to get 35 touches, and it's not a good matchup. But, you know, if you don't feel comfortable with the D'Angelo Williams situation and his potential workload, or you just want to play two cheap guys and load up elsewhere, which I don't know why you would because there's not a lot of top-tier guys you need. But, I mean, he's a great value play this week, and I think he's probably actually a safer option than Williams, but I don't think he really has the upside of Williams at all.
Yeah, I think in terms of touchdowns, I mean, you know, it couldn't not be there this week. I think we saw that against San Francisco when he drew the star. I mean, he had a good amount of yards, but, you know, he didn't find the end zone. It wasn't particularly the greatest outcome come the end of the day. Next one here, Ronnie Hillman, 4,500. And if Melvin Gordon is out this week, obviously Hillman's pretty much the lone back there.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not even a play that I particularly like, but if you're looking for an additional value back, I mean, obviously, you know, you could slot in some of these other more expensive guys. You got LaShawn McCoy. You could play in cash games if you didn't want to pay down for Williams. This is kind of a last resort type of guy if you don't want to play Rodgers or Williams. And Hillman was horrible last week. I mean, that was the Reggie Bush type of line right there where 9 carries for 6 yards. I mean, he was really, really bad, and that was a really, really good matchup. So kind of by default, he'll be the lead back if Gordon can't play. I'm not sure why they would be rushing him back to play in this game. I mean, they just lost to the Browns. Season's been over for weeks. I mean, I don't get it. Maybe he plays. I know he wants to get to 1,000 yards. Maybe he's got a salary incentive from that. I'm not sure. But if I'm the Chargers, I'm going to go ahead and rest him. Let Hillman take the reins here. It's not a great matchup, but ultimately the Chiefs, they could still get a number 2 seed. If the Raiders lose, the Raiders definitely could lose without Derek Carr. So they have plenty to play for here. But, I mean, if you're going to get 20-plus touches at men's salary potentially, then I think he deserves a look. But if Melvin Gordon plays, you just completely write him off.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's we're going to a restaurant here. If you don't want steak, D'Angelo Williams. If you don't want chicken, Jaquiz Rogers. Well, you can get a crap piece of fish, and that's Ronnie Hillman.
Yeah, you can get whatever's on the special.
Yeah,
whatever's actually out of date by a day. You can just have that for cheap, and
you can have that's
Ronnie Hillman.
That's what you can have.
Yeah, you can have what the people at the table next to you left when they got in a fight and left dinner early. You can have the rest of that guy's meal.
That's going to wrap things up here with the FanDuel running back analysis for Week 17. If you want to check out Justin's article, you can head on over to DaveFantasyCafe.com and be sure to check out the rest of our Week 17 content.